Good morning, everybody. Welcome to One Yard Wednesday. I'm Colleen from GEDesigns. We are happy here in Chaska, Minnesota. So if you haven't been to Chaska, you should come and visit us. Of course, the tent sale and the Fan Fest and all kinds of fun things are coming up. We'll, of course, keep you posted on all of those things. And if you have been here, hello, and thanks for stopping in. And we've got some classes to talk about and lots going on. It's a busy week, KP.
I know, it's quiet around here, but it's fun.
Yeah,
It's
you
busy.
did a nice job producing the show from
Yesterday's
Iceland.
Tipsy Tuesday. It was very weird, very different.
Yes.
From doing it in person.
Remote producing. Well, I think you did an awesome job.
Thank you
Thumbs
very
up
much.
from me. We have a talented team here. We sure do. So we're missing the whole fam, and they are in Iceland, and I know you're following them. And I think there isn't anyone who misses them more than Kobe the dog. Kobe the human a close second, but certainly Kobe the dog.
I know, he's been very loud and very vocal.
Yes, where's mom? Where's dad? So we're giving him lots of hugs and loves.
Yep, trying to keep him entertained.
We are. So anyway, welcome to One Yard Wednesday. This is the show where we show you fun and creative ideas to use with fabulous fabrics at fantastic prices. And today we have a collection that pretty much every one of us will love, all of them. I'm just saying. So before we get started, I want to tell you to sit back and relax and watch the show, because the prices won't be live until the show ends, and we'll make all of those lives as soon as we can. Let's get started with the quilts on the set this morning. Behind my producer, and we have just one because the other one is in Iceland. There's Mr. KP, and KP
hello.
has...
I have Mia.
Mia.
Of course, because we have a quilt along coming up.
Yes, we do. So if you didn't hear about that, watch yesterday's Tipsy Tuesday or go to the blog for yesterday and find out the details for the Mia quilt along. You'll really want to take advantage of it.
It's going to be a fun one.
It's going to be really fun.
I
Coming
didn't
up
get
soon.
to match very much today, though.
You're not very matchy-matchy,
No.
unless your hat kind of leans toward the blue-gray. There you go.
Oh, other way?
Yeah, I think you're good. And sort of the orange in your embroidery on your hat.
Yep, in the swan.
In the swan. What's the significance of the swan?
It's just the name of the brand. I think it's called Swanee or something like that. It's a golf brand.
Well, there you go. I learn something new every day. Behind me is Lexie, and isn't Lexie sharp? I love Lexie. I'll move out of the way so you can get a good look at Lexie. Lexie is made with 2.5-inch strips and so much fun, and this is a hint to the fabric we're going to show you today. Before we look at the fabric, we should probably ask a question. We've got a question today. Well, here's the question today, asked and answered by our very own Mr. KP.
Hello, hello. Our question today is, when did TV switch from black and white to color? And what I found was it was first introduced in 1954, but wasn't very common for a while. And then in 1967 is when it finally passed sales for black and white TV, and was in more homes than black and whites were. That's what I found.
There you go. That's amazing. It wasn't very common because in those days, now I'm going to age myself, in those days, we didn't get a new thing till the old thing wore out. So even if color came along, at least in my family, the color TV didn't the black and white TV didn't get replaced until it was long gone, and then we would get the color TV. So it might take a while.
You're telling me there used to be tubes in TVs?
There was tubes in TVs. There were tubes in radios. Yeah, now you could go to the drugstore and replace a tube. Oh my gosh, those were the old days. Those were the old days when you could repair your car yourself as well.
Hey, I still do that.
Do you?
I do.
All right, good for you.
I'll keep that under my belt.
All right. Well, I know if I have car issues, I can go to either of the KP or GP. They're going to help me out.
We got you.
You gave me some good advice. Alrighty, well, we should look at some fabric. It's a really wonderful collection by Century from Andover, and wait till you see. Here we go. First up is white choppy rectangles. Do we have a close-up of this one?
We do.
KP? Let's look at the close-up of this because it's hard to see, of course, in the white because it's just so white on white. So there's the texture in the white choppy rectangles, and I love it. It does have a little bit of an embossed feel, almost as though the grunges have. So it's got a nice hand. I did use it in a project, so I know that it presses well, it holds its shape, and it's a great fabric to work with. So the first up in the black and white collection today, and we have 12, is that choppy rectangles. Then we have its opposite, black choppy rectangles, and I think we have an image of that too. Now that makes it appear as if the rectangles are much lighter than the black background, but in fact, as you can see when you look at the overhead, that it's pretty black on black, but it does have that fun choppy texture, which is so cool. Next up is another fun pair, kissing cousins. This first one is called Black on White Snowflakes, and I think this is so fun. Of course, anytime you can pull something in that looks like a winter image without it being too Christmassy, I think that's always fun. And then next up to that one is Black on Black Snowflakes. So if you could see this, and there it is. There's the bigger picture of that one. Again, you can tell that it's not quite that much of a contrast, but you get a real nice sense of what the images look like. So the two snowflakes are just really fun. And then we have a collection of whites with blacks, and you'll start to see why I chose Lexie behind me, because all of these would be so fun in Lexie. In fact, I think they would be fun in Mia too. Can you imagine a black and white Mia?
I think that'd be perfect.
Wouldn't that be cool? Do you like blacks and whites together?
Yeah, I'm pretty neutral. I'm pretty basic.
Yeah. Love it. And I love the movement that blacks and whites have with each other visually. Then we have white. This one is called Asterisk. You can see why. How fun is that? And the scale of these is nice. It gives you a little bit of print, but not overwhelming. So if this were a 2.5-inch strip, you'd get a nice collection of asterisks there. And then we have strokes, and we had this in a collection once before, and it was the first one to sell out. So we were able to get some more of this, and I like this one too. I just like the movement in this, black on white strokes. And we have one more black on white in this real obvious black on white collection. This one is called Black on White Squares. So I'm going to start to move these over so we have enough space. So look at all this fun texture that we have. Now we have some white on whites, and I don't know, we do have Hexie. There's Hexie. So this is called White's Hexie. Again, it is not quite that gray, but it does have that same white on white, a little bit of an embossed feeling, but not shimmery. It's not shimmery. It's not silvery. Next up is White's Curvy Lines, and that one is also really cool. I don't think we have a big one, an overhead of that one, do we?
No, sorry, I wasn't able to find one.
Yeah, I put it up close. Oh yeah, there.
You can kind of see it.
There's Curvy Lines.
There you go, right there.
Nice. So it gives you that feeling, and if you love the blacks and whites, or you love whites or whatever, all of these are so cool. Next up is another white on white. This one is called White Rings, and we do have an overhead of white rings, so you can see that one.
We have a picture. It's not super
yeah,
great,
that one
though.
doesn't show up very well. It's hard to get good whites on whites. Let's see what it looks like in the there.
Oh, yep.
There you go. Should we show?
There we go.
So that's what it looks like if I give it a little bit of a close-up. Cool. Not directional, but just that texture.
I wish you guys could see that one better, because I really like the white on white rings.
I do too. And finally, we have one more black on black. This is black on black starry squirrel.
Starry squirrels.
Starry squirrels. Now, I've renamed this. I'll have to talk to the Andover people. It's actually starry swirls. And I love that too. Again, it's not directional. It's just very, very toss and organic looking. So if you like those kinds of prints, this is going to come out really great for you. And again, it's not as gray on black as it appears. That's overdone, so you can get a nice image of that. So 12 blacks and whites. I think this is just an awesome collection. And I really do want to make a black and white Mia.
I think we should.
Just for fun. Just because, I don't know, black and white is just so, it's always contemporary, it's always cool, it's always clean. And these would be so fun because there's lots of movement here. Lots of movement here. So I might pull out the snowflakes white, but I could use the snowflakes black. Until you get right up on that, you don't see that it's a snowflake. So love, love, love this whole collection. Well, guess what, KP? I have a notion. My notion today is the Gypsy Quilter Seam Ripper. Now, we have had seam rippers before, but this is a reminder. First of all, I'll show you the features of this one because I really do love these Gypsy Quilter. You know, I'm tempted to always grab this seam ripper that came free with something, and then I'm always disappointed. Invest in a nice seam ripper. If it's not sharp, it's not going to work well for you. But the Gypsy seam rippers also have a plastic tip so they can help get rid of all the little threads. Let me show you. So I'll take my cap off and I'll put that aside. And I did a little stitching on this so you could see the red thread. So I'll put my ripper in the seam and I'll just give it a push. Now it helps that I haven't pressed this. But look at the threads I have. So if I just do this, that rubber on the end of that will pick those up and I can put them aside. And there are the gray. I had different threads in the top and different threads in the bobbin just because that's what I had. And I can be sure I get rid of all of those threads. It seems fussy, but it's fussier after this is restitched and you are trying to clean up your quilt before you finish it. So anyway, the rubber tip is going to be really helpful in getting rid of, so now I've just spread them all over everywhere.
That's pretty slick.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried to pick up little tiny threads with my fingers and it takes
don't,
forever.
because look at, you got this. It's the
Might have
Gypsy Quilter Seam Ripper. In fact, I've used these so long that I wore out one of the cutters, but I just kept it and I just use it for getting rid of threads.
Nice. Yeah, perfect.
And then I had one that my dog ate, the tip. Bang. He went to heaven with that in his stomach, I'm sure. He liked chewing on anything. So
Good old Fang.
good old Fang, my baby. So this is my notion of the day, the Gypsy Quilter Seam Ripper. Love it. Well, I didn't make a project this week because these blacks and whites really speak for themselves, and I wanted to give you a chance to have as many of these available as possible. But I do have a couple of ideas. I pulled a Jewel from our archives. Let's look at Jewel. Here's Jewel in black and white. How cool is that? Really cool. Jewel is a fun quilt to make. It's another one of Gudrun's quilts that looks like it's going to be so hard, and it's so easy with the Stripology way, and black and white is really awesome. And then next up I have a Zoe, and this is Zoe in blacks and whites with a hint of that gray. So this is scrappy black and white with an accent, and that, I don't mean gray, I mean gold. don't
I
I?
was gonna say that kind of looks gold.
Yeah, gold. Thank you.
I really like that.
Isn't that
together.
fun? So it gives you just that hint of color, very, very New Year's Eve, very champagne, right? Doesn't that
Yep.
look fun? Yeah, champagne might be the right color there. So just goes to show you if you add in something and something low value, so you don't get a great big burst of contrast. This is just gives you your eyes something interesting to look at. And then of course, Lexie. I love this. I love this Lexie.
I feel like this Mia behind me with the black and whites and then a little bit of gold like that Zoe would look sweet.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Would you make the big blocks some gold, or would you just do the strips some gold, or what would you do?
I think I would just do some of the strips in
Yeah,
here and
in
have
gold.
black and white
With some
boxes. Yeah. I think that'd be pretty
You're
cool.
a designer. You're a
know.
designer, KP.
Gosh, it's almost been a year around quilts.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, next week, right, is your anniversary?
I think in about a month.
In about
we
a
got
month.
Jace's
All
next
right.
week.
Well, the party planners are already at work. We've got a lot of anniversaries and birthdays coming up this next couple of weeks. Oh, all righty. Well, let's take a look at the fabrics one more time. You probably have lots of fun things to do today, and we sure don't want to stand in your way. Let's look at these beautiful blacks and whites. First up is black on black. This is called Starry Swirls. And of course, when you go to look at these on the website, GEQuiltDesigns.com, you'll see the image that gives you a better sense of what these really look like in real life. Next up, after the starry swirls, not squirrels, white rings. So cool. And they are tossed, very interesting texture. And like I said, they have a bit of the whites have a bit of a embossed feeling. Like I said, kind of like a grunge does. And then we have curvy lines, and that is cool too. Almost like brackets, like that are connected. And then this one is hexie. So little bitty hexies, and I think you've got that one. I'll let you show that larger one. That's so cool, so cool.
Yep, that one's one of my favorites.
And then we got the whites with black, which are all really fun. This one is white squares, of course. Love it, love it, love it. And then white strokes, some little dots in here, and these tossed strokes. And then asterisks, very fun. This would make just a great add to all kinds of your quilts. Raindrops, this one's called white raindrops. Now, it of course does look like raindrops, the shape of it, but you can, depending on how you put it, obviously it's an abstract look at raindrops, and you can use it however you prefer. And then the black and white pairs. First up is black snowflakes, and then second, black snowflakes on white. So these are the pair there, and then where we started, choppy rectangles, and this is a dense excuse me. This is a dense print, as you can see by the picture, but not nearly as gray as it appears on the screen. And then choppy rectangles, white on white. So that is our black on white and white on black and black and white collection. I just really want to go roll up my sleeves and make myself something wonderful. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea.
So let's talk about the rest of the goodies we showed you today. First of all, my tool of the day, my notion of the day, the Gypsy Quilter Seam Ripper. Actually, this is the brand I go to, and I have lots of them. And grab yourself, if you haven't bought a seam ripper in a long time, you're due, because they do wear out. The blade, at least it does for me, because I'm doing kind of a lot of ripping from time to time. Don't forget that the Stripology Quickies book is available for pre-order, and that's where the Mia pattern is. If you haven't ordered this already, you should, and you'll get the Mia downloaded immediately. And there's always also a Mia quilt along coming up. So check that out. And then the Lexie, which is behind me. And Lexie is so much fun, starting with 10-inch squares and cutting them apart and putting them all back together. And I love the Lexie black and white behind me. Couple fun things coming up in our classroom. We always want to promote our classroom. First up, on August 10th, which will be also the same day as our next Sew Together Saturday, right? So great Saturday. So great Saturday. August 10th will be a busy day here at GE. It's a Saturday, and we'll have our So Great Saturday show, and we're going to have the Master Your Stripology Rulers class. It's my favorite class to teach, and I know it's there are still a couple of chairs, so come on in and see that. We'll give you some fabric to practice, and you'll get to know all the things that all the stripology rulers will do. So much fun. And then this Friday, if you're in the neighborhood and you're looking for someplace cool, both, hip and also the temperature will be right, come on in for Open Sew. Bring your favorite project. I'll be sewing in the classroom, working on some projects, and happy to help you in any way I can. And we have just a lot of nice people around here hanging out on Fridays, so come on in for Open Sew. That's what's coming up at GE. Anything we should add?
Well, I saw a few questions.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
But they're actually for me.
Oh, yay.
One of them was if my mom was feeling better. She is. She's not fully 100%, but she's getting there. And then I also saw somebody ask if I quilt. And I do not yet. I know a lot about the fabric.
I was going to say not yet, and you said yet.
Keyword yet. I will. I would love to, but I just got to find some time.
Yeah.
Got a busy life around here.
Yes. We'll get you started. We'll get you involved in a project. I've got a couple things cut out that you could just make some blocks, and that would be fun.
Just do a little practicing.
Yes, for sure.
I think that's a good idea.
For sure. Well, listen, we are always so grateful when you hang out with us. We have, like I say, this awesome collection, 12 blacks and whites, and then we have a few things left over from previous One Yard Wednesdays, so grab those as well. In the meantime, I'm Colleen from GEDesigns, and thank you for being here, Mr. KP. You always do an awesome job.
Thank you.
Grab your stripology ruler, grab some fun fabrics, and hey, make yourself something wonderful today, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.